The Align legging without a front seam. That's all they did. It does kind of cut off the line of your glutes. It's nothing we haven't seen before. There are so many good affordable leggings that have looked like this for years. 10 years ago in 2015, Lululemon revolutionized the activewear world and made the Align pant. These were probably the most well-known leggings ever. Leggings went from being kind of saggy and sheer, these unflattering elastic waistbands, to this ultra soft, ultra stretchy fabric that just flattered you in every way. And now, present day, 10 years later, Lululemon has done what we've all been asking for years, which is create an Align pant without a front seam. So today I'm going to be giving you my brutally honest thoughts on the new Lululemon Align no line pant. I got a size 4 and a 6 to compare for you guys today because I do kind of fall between those two sizes. And before anyone freaks out, which everyone was freaking out in my comments on my Instagram reel I posted about this, thinking that Lululemon is going to get rid of their front seam pants, don't worry. I've been wearing no front seam leggings since 2019. They've been holding on to that front seam for 6 years. I think they're going to keep holding on. These are just an additional style. They're not replacing the Align pant. Personally, I feel more comfortable and look better in a no front seam legging, but there are a lot of people who do prefer to have a front seam. You either get split up the center with a front seam or you get a little bit of Barbie crotch with a no front seam, but it's all about personal preference. Today is for my no front seam lovers. I honestly wasn't sure we would see a no front seam Align, first of all, ever. Second of all, after the failure of the Breezethrough leggings. Last July, Lululemon launched the Breezethrough leggings, which were their first no front seam leggings since the All the Right Places. So these were their first no front seam leggings in a while, and I really feel like they tried to innovate a lot more with these. We have this dip down V waistband, no front seam, which was huge for them. A lot of people were not fans of how dramatic these seams are in the back of these. People were saying it's giving like whale tail fit. I'm all for a curved glute seam. I do think that this is a little bit dramatic compared to what Lululemon normally has, but it didn't matter anyway because about 2 weeks after they launched the Breezethrough leggings, they just disappeared from the website and were no longer being sold. So they retired the leggings after like 2 weeks, which is crazy. I don't know if so many people just like hated these seams, but I just feel like that's a little bit dramatic. Like, let the people who like them buy them. I didn't have any actual quality issues with these, but I remember in that video just saying, give us an Align with no front seam. I'm sure some people would like just an Align legging with no front seam because that's what people have wanted for years. And today, that's what they did. So without further ado, let's get into the leggings. So these launched on May 13th. I believe they're coming in a couple colors. Since I did review the Breezethrough last time, they did actually send these to me, but this is not sponsored in any way, and I will be giving my 100% honest opinions as always, but they said, we saw your last review and we'd love to send you a pair of the Aligns because that's literally what I asked for. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna review them anyway. But I am bummed that they sent me black, because I hate black leggings. I'm probably the only one in the world, but I just do not ever wear black leggings. Reason number one, for my channel perspective, I review leggings here and black is really hard to pick up details. So that is definitely frustrating that I have black for this review, but they didn't offer me any colors. They just like sent them. The second reason why I don't wear black legging has 4 legs and is super adorable and also very furry. So if I just exist in black leggings around Peach, we have problems. Anyways, I did get a size 4 and a 6. They do come in a 25-inch and a 28-inch inseam. I have the 28-inch inseam. I don't know the exact price. I did ask, so if I get that information before I post this review, I will put it on the screen. But the classic Lululemon high-rise pant is $98, so I'm estimating these will probably be around the same, hopefully, probably a little bit more. No front seam leggings are a little bit more expensive to make, but I'm sure they have plenty of margin in that $98 price tag. So we'll first review these and then we'll compare them to the OG Aligns, to the Breezethroughs, and then of course I have to give you guys a $30 affordable option at the end. So we have a double thickness high-rise waistband. I measured a 9-inch rise from gusset to the top of the waistband in the size 6. Double thickness with no top band, straight across seam in the front, no front rise seam, extended gusset that goes down the inner thigh about to the knee, no side seam, classic Lululemon reflective vinyl logo in the back, and then we have those just ever so slightly angled seams here. They're basically straight across in the back. They do still have the seam up the back rise, and then again, these are the 28-inch option. These are made of their Nulu fabric, which is 81% nylon, 19% lycra elastane. I actually don't even own a pair of recent Aligns. I only have OG Aligns, which are made of the original Nulu fabric, which I believe is the same composition, but it's just a little bit lighter, a little bit more brushed, a little bit more pill prone. So they did change the Align fabric, but compared to the pair of Aligns I tried last summer, which I ended up getting a pair of pink ones, and they were double thickness of fabric, which basically eliminates the entire purpose of having an Align pant to like add 2 layers of fabric. It was way too thick. That felt very performance. This one actually does feel pretty similar to original Aligns, slightly brushed. Here's an up close of that fabric. Again, a little hard to see, but it does have that soft outer layer that is nice and brushed. There, that's a little bit easier to see. Then we have that hidden waistband pocket in the front left. Let's try these on. Okay, before we get started, Peach would like to let everyone know that the Align pants are not pet fur friendly, are they? No. No, they're not. which is why I hate black leggings. Okay, hopefully we can see these well. These are the size 6 and they actually feel pretty good. I'd say overall they are high to ultra high rise, so they are going slightly above the natural waist, a little bit lower than the original Align high rises on me. Double thickness waistband, no top band of course. The classic kind of thicker seam sits right at the hips here, and then we have no front seam, which honestly, the Aligns never gave me that many problems because the fabric is so stretchy, but now you definitely have more flexibility to, like, if you really want to hike them up and everything, you're not going to get any issues in the crotch area. But I'm going to try them on where they're kind of meant to be placed. So definitely in the size 6, I have a little bit of give at the waist here. Then we have that extended gusset that goes down the thigh. It goes about to the knee. Same with the classic Aligns, and I would say that it's actually not too visible from the front here. In contrast with the Breezethroughs, I felt like it sat a little bit forward. Here, we're not really seeing that gusset from the front. So I really like that. Overall compression on the size 6 is about a light to medium, a little bit more compression than the original Aligns, but I actually feel like these feel pretty similar compared to a recent pair of Aligns I tried last year that did not really feel like Aligns at all. I feel like these kind of feel like that same soft, smooth feel. No side seam. And then in the back, we have the issue with Aligns that I still have is that the seams, they sit too low. My hip bones are right here and the seam sits about an inch below that. So it does kind of cut off the line of your glutes. So these are really only about a medium on the booty scale. They don't really help the glutes at all. People always used to wear them like hiked up the back, but with the arrival of hidden scrunch leggings, I feel like that's definitely the next step that I would want to see for these, because when you just hike them up like that, they do kind of come out over time. So I honestly don't find Aligns super flattering on the glutes. They don't squish the glutes down though, but the back seam is still a little bit low, same as the original Aligns, unfortunately. And in terms of cellulite coverage, a little bit more coverage than original Aligns because it's just a little bit thicker, but I still wouldn't consider these a very cellulite friendly legging overall. All right, then we have the full length view. These are the 28-inch inseam. I'm 5'9", so this is a good length for me. I like that they are coming out with the multiple lengths. And yeah, that's it. The Align legging without a front seam. That's all they did. So let's try on the size 4 and see how that works. All right, here we have the size 4, and I really think I could wear either one, but I'm actually preferring the size 4. I just feel like I'm getting a little bit more hugging, a little bit more hold. So we still have that high to slightly ultra high rise, a little bit above my natural waist. Forgot to mention before, these do have that classic little hidden pocket on the inner waistband there. I used to struggle sizing down in certain Align pants. I'm very much between a 4 and a 6, and I'd struggle to size down because I would get camel toe when I would size down. But because there's no front seam anymore, I think it's a lot safer to size down and you don't risk getting that. So if you're in between, I would definitely recommend getting the smaller size. Getting about a medium compression in these, so I definitely feel that the fabric is a little bit different than the original Aligns, but it still has that soft brushed feel. Still have that nice extended gusset, not seeing it from the front. And again, the seams, they're almost sitting a little bit lower even on this size. So yeah, that's the one major bummer, but they are hugging the body well. That's something I always liked about the Newbury fabric. It is soft and naked feel, but it still hugs the body very well. So I'm definitely preferring the size. I'm not getting squeezed. And then finally, again, full length view. It's just hard to convince me to spend the $100 on these leggings when it's nothing we haven't seen before. These are like the most basic of the no front seam leggings that I'm just a little bit bored of them, you know? But for my diehard Lulu girls, at least we got something. Last thing to mention, these do just have that kind of endless stretch that I really do like in a legging fabric. So I definitely appreciate that about Aligns. And now for some comparisons between the original OG Aligns with the front seam and the new Align no line pant. So these are honestly exactly the same. Lululemon said, you want an Align pant with no front seam? We're gonna give you that and nothing else, which I don't blame them because the response from the Breezethrough with those curved seams and all those changes was not very good. So they were like, you guys don't like change? We're gonna give you the most minimal change. All they did was take off the front seam. Because these are OG Aligns, these have a slightly more lightweight fabric, but the fabric does feel pretty similar. The OG Aligns are about 1/2 inch higher in rise based on my measurements in the same size. So the OGs are really more of a true ultra high rise for me. And then again, everything else is the same, exact same seam style. They still have kind of the lower seams in the back that aren't super flattering on the glutes. Honestly, I have not worn Aligns in years, and it's not only for the front seam. I just feel like the style is a little bit outdated. I honestly don't feel like they're super flattering on me. I feel like they make me look like a little bloated almost. And then with the seams not being very flattering in the back, it's not just about the seams being flat across. They're just sitting a little bit too low. The front seam was honestly the least of my problems with Align pants. So personally, I do feel like it's too little too late for these Align no line pants for me. To spend $100 on the most basic kind of no front seam legging, there's literally nothing else that's really distinguishing about these. There are so many good affordable leggings that have looked like this for years. I don't see the point in spending 2 to 3x the price on something where, like, at this, Lululemon is the dupe, because other brands have done the exact same legging for years. So for me, what's gonna make me spend the extra money on something is a unique design that I can't get anywhere else, or a really amazing fabric that I feel like I can't get anywhere else. And while I do like this fabric, the design is simple enough that I can find this fabric in other pieces. So is it worth the splurge for me? No. Lululemon just used to be at the forefront of innovation. Like, they were doing so much innovation in activewear, and I just really feel like that's kind of stopped lately. I do follow them to get the news and everything, and I feel like it's funny that they came out with the Align and no line pants after they just came out with these leggings. They were like, oh, like, these are so innovative and everything. And they have the biggest front seam I've ever seen in my life. And everyone in the comments was like, we asked for no front seam and you gave us this. And it honestly just felt like a tease for these leggings. But those were pretty egregious. I wouldn't even dream of trying those. And I still don't really find those very innovative either. Like, Lululemon has done great things for activewear, but I just feel like those things have kind of stopped. Anyways, we're off on a tangent. Let's compare the new Align no line pants to the Lululemon Breezethrough pants. These launched last July. Again, you cannot get these anymore. I really was not a huge fan of these. Again, they tried to do things that I have in so many other pairs of leggings. First of all, the Breezethrough are made of this super paper thin fabric. It's a sleek performance material, so it's very thin, very naked feel. I didn't love the fabric, but I didn't think it was horrible. I do prefer just a little bit more hold, and I also prefer brushed fabric, so I definitely prefer the fabric of the Aligns. These leggings had a similar seam style, but they had a V-dipped waistband in the front, and the Breezethroughs also had a seam all the way around the top that really cut into the waist and was just not very flattering, so I was not here for that seam. Breezethroughs also had that same gusset, but like I was saying before, it sat a little far forward, so you were just seeing a lot of gusset when you just really shouldn't be. And then they had the very dramatic V-contoured seams in the back. Again, I'm all for a flattering seam in the back, but this was very dramatic, and the seam was honestly so high that it wasn't really doing that much for the glutes here. I feel like if they could just take some inspiration from the Breezethrough for the Aligns, we could maybe have a legging that is fit for 2025. But lastly, we'll compare the no line Aligns to the Colorful Koala Dreamlux no front seam leggings. These come in a 25 and a 28-inch inseam. I got a size small and they are $32. I have been wearing Colorful Koala since like 2018, maybe even earlier. These were one of my first affordable brands that I really loved, and they finally came out with a no front seam legging maybe 5 to 6 months ago at this point, and it just happens to be nearly identical to the Lululemon no line Aligns, except they came out first. So it's not a dupe when it comes out first. So we can compare these side by side, but basically the construction is very similar. The Colorful Koala size small is very similar to the fit of the Lululemon size 6. So I do feel like I could size down in these as well. These are very light compression, lightweight brushed fabric, straight across waistband. They have that same inner waistband pocket that the Aligns do. No front seam, very important. These are about a 1/2 inch shorter rise, and these are more of a true high rise, hit right at the small of my waist, and I actually prefer where these hit me. These also are a little bit more of a lightweight feel. They're not quite as brushed as the OG Aligns, but they have more of a naked feel and less compression than the current Nulu fabric. Here is an up close of the fabric, very lightweight, very brushed. Honestly, everything else is identical to the Align no line pants. We have that very slightly tapered seam in the back, Colorful Koala logo, extended gusset comes in 2 inseam options, and bonus, these also come in a pocket version. Colorful Koala pocket leggings are like my #1 recommended pocket leggings, and now they have no front seam, so I don't have the actual pocket leggings with me, but Colorful Koala never does me wrong, always has my heart, and the sports bra is also from Colorful Koala. One more note on the fabric for the Colorful Koala, it's actually the same composition as the Lululemon Nulu material, so you can still have the same percentages and still be a different fabric, so it does feel slightly different, but the fabric percentages are the same. The salespeople on TikTok Shop love to say these are the exact same fabric because the percentages are the same, and either they don't understand the nuance or they're just trying to sell you something, but you can have the fabric percentages be the same and the fabric is still a different fabric. It can still be like a custom blend, things like that. So a little more activewear knowledge for you guys today. So that is it for the Lululemon Align no line pant. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys super excited that Lululemon is finally arriving on this no front seam train, or is it just a little bit too late? Because it's just a little bit too late for me. Definitely got to give credit where credit is due to the fact where Aligns were just so revolutionary for activewear, but the whole no front seam thing coming 6 years too late is almost like, why are we even doing this now? Anyways, if you made it this far, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!